Hi guys, hope all of us are doing great. My name is Ernest and this is Ernest Sciences and Mathematics TV channel. Today we are going to look at concept in transformation, and this basically is an extension of the product topic of geometry. And now in our previous videos we have talked about the concept of transformation, and I promised that we are going to do an exclusive video especially on the concept of transformation. Now in our discussion today I'm basically going to look at 4 different types of transformations in a summary form. And in our subsequent video, we are going to discuss exclusively on those 4 various types of transformation, perhaps in details and using a detailed form of illustration. So in this particular case, the concept of a transform basically means to change. And we're going to see various changes that we can be able to perform on perhaps our objects and some aspects of our geometry in order to come with different perhaps shapes, etc. So in this particular case, we have talked about the concept of lines, segment. We have talked about the concept of angles, and perhaps some of the regular figures like the triangle, which we have discussed in various aspects concerning the sides and the triangles and various types of triangles. Now we're going to see that basically on our concept of transformations, we are going to rely heavily on figures, and these are basically going to be 2-dimensional figures. And in some cases, we're going to see in an advanced fashion of geometry some of the 3-dimensional figures which are going to be, of course, employed in this specific aspect of transformation. Now, as I've said, we're going to look at 4 various aspects of transformations, but in this specific discussion, I'm going to restrict myself into 4 types of transformation. Now, these types of transformations are going to fall under 4 categories, and the first one is going to be the reflection, and then we're going to look at another type of transformation which is referred to as dilation, and then we shall look at another type of transformation which is known as translation, and lastly, of course, we're going to look at another type of transformation referred to as rotation. And of course, in these various types of transformations, they are going to assist us try to describe various aspects of reflection, dilation, translation, and rotation, perhaps using a 2-dimension Cartesian coordinate system. And in that particular case, I'm going to use elaborate illustrations, which are going to, of course, assist us try to see in terms of quantity how these various aspects of transformation can be performed. Now, in this specific case, I'm just going to give a figurative illustration. Now, the concept of reflection basically means to mirror an object. So this basically refers to mirroring an object. And in this particular case, just from the literal meaning, this one means that we're going to have an object, for instance, that specific object, and then we're going to have a mirror line, and that object is going to be reflected in that specific mirror line. Now, suppose we have this specific mirror line, virtual mirror line given as M, then this is going to imply an object and an image respectively. Now, in this particular case, we're going to see that there are various characteristics which are going to be associated with the concept of reflection as a way of transformation, which, of course, as I've said, we're going to use it or elaborate on that in our detailed discussion. Now, this transformation from this object to the image using this mirror line, then therefore is going to be referred to as the concept of reflection. And then next, we're going to look at the concept of translation. So this is a translation. Now, translation as a form of transformation, of course, is going to refer to sliding an object. So basically, this is to slide an object. Just as I can have this specific object at this specific point and slide it. Now, the geometrical aspect of trying to describe this particular transformation, then therefore is going to be referred to as translating. So therefore, if I have the object as f and it is being translated or slide along this particular path, then therefore the process is going to be described as a transformation process, which basically from the literal sense it's going to refer to as sliding this specific object. The next we're going to look at third type of transformation, and that basically means rotate. Now, from the circular perspective, or perhaps from the angular perspective that we have been discussing from various aspects. So this is going to imply the concept of angles, and this basically is going to refer to turn an object. So if we have an object that is F, we can be able to turn this object facing that particular direction, and this case is going to involve a particular point of focus, which we are going to see later, and then it's going to involve a difference in angle, which we are going to discuss about later. So therefore, the concept of a rotation means to turn an object, and it can be illustrated using, in this particular sense, this figurative illustration that I've given on the board. And then lastly, we're going to discuss about the concept of dilation, which is a fourth and last discussion for this particular concept of transformation, which I mentioned in this particular case. So therefore, dilation basically means to reduce or enlarge an object. So this is to reduce or enlarge an object. Now in this particular case, if I have an object given as such, I can be able to perform a dilation by either enlarging it or reducing it. And in this particular case, this double arrow implies that the object has either been enlarged or reduced in that specific case, whereby we can be able to see that this is a smaller and large object. So the process that is being done in this between this specific object and perhaps the image is referred to as enlargement or reduction, and therefore that is going to entail the concept of dilation. Now in our subsequent video, I'm going to look at the four concepts of reflection, translation, and rotation and dilation in deeper details, and that is going to assist us comprehend or have a comprehensive way of trying to describe the various aspects of transformation that I've mentioned in this specific video. So kindly check our description boxes for various videos which are going to be dealing with the concept of geometry, and of course they are going to collaborate in assisting us understand the various concepts that we have already discussed, or the one that we are going to discuss. So that is it for now, guys. Bye, God bless you. Catch us in our next video.